everyone, to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me for a fourth time. Let me see if I got your last. I know I got your last name wrong the last 3 times. Let's see if I get it right. And is it Myrna?
Just Myrna.
Myrna. It's just Myrna. Why do I have a hard time with that? I have Ann Myrna, and she is playing Angelica Grace in Night of the Dead Sorority Babes. And wait to hear this, everybody. Director. She is making her directorial debut with Inner Beauty. Hey, Ann, how you doing this evening?
I'm great, Scotty. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to have you on. I know I've been excited to hear about Night of the Dead Sorority Babes. I know I've been seeing a lot of posts about that, and I'm excited to see that. That's just something about that movie. Like, that's just my genre. I like that type. So I'm really excited to talk about that. Of course, Inner Beauty. I don't know anything about Inner Beauty, so I'm really excited to hear more about that and really dive into how you did as a director and what is different between that and acting. So I'm really excited to go into this.
I would love to talk about all that.
Awesome. So let's just start off with the basics. What are Night of the Dead Sorority Babes and Inner Beauty? What are they both about?
They're two very different films. Night of the Dead Sorority Babes is a feature film, and it stars Lynn Lowry and myself as villains who founded a sorority. And it turns out that we have a very dark past, so our intentions are not good with recruiting new pledges to our sorority. We're trying to, kind of make back for some evil that's been done in our family in our past. And so we bring these beautiful young girls in who think that they're going to prove themselves and be worthy and join the sorority, and a lot of damage gets done to people in that film. It is, after all, a horror film.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what about Inner Beauty?
Now, Inner Beauty is a short film, and it is part of an anthology based on a book that was written by S.J. Herman called Splintered Love. And so what we've done is taken some of the stories that were in that anthology and adapted them to film, and then we're adding a little more to that. So the goal is that there will be 4 short stories, and then we will kind of package those together as a horror anthology of shorts.
Nice. So regarding Inner Beauty, we'll start with that, I guess. It's your directorial debut, as we mentioned, and that's really exciting. So as director, what was your most important part of getting that film correct?
We had some folks that we had not worked with before, and then we had some that we had worked with before in terms of the main cast. And so we were looking for certain emotions to come out. Inner Beauty is kind of a story of, and actually all of the stories in the Splintered Love anthology, they're stories about kind of like romance gone bad. And so we have like a host character, Cupidity, that's played by Beth Metcalf, and she's kind of like in the scenes, but not really in the scenes. So sometimes the main characters don't interact with her at all, even though she's like right next to them. And then other times she just kind of like works her way into the scene. So it's kind of an interesting treatment of kind of a host for the entire series. So she's in all of the different shorts. So yeah, we worked with folks a lot on just delivering the right emotions. And then also we had kind of an in the home cocktail party scene. So we had a group of background extra actors along with that. And for me, first time directing, I was just like really nervous about how to pull off that cocktail party scene because it was kind of long. And then, you want to have the people in the background moving around. They can't just stand there because at a cocktail party, nobody just stands there. People will go and talk in different groups and things like that. So my head was kind of spinning in terms of how am I going to plan this thing out? Like I actually like made these little mock-up diagrams and stuff, but we had never been in the space physically that we filmed in. So we filmed in an Airbnb, and they had great pictures online and everything, but still you can't really tell, like how the light is hitting at the time of day that you're there, really what the dimensions of the rooms are and stuff like that. But we miraculously this was a 2-day shoot. The first day when we broke for lunch, it was 1 minute before we predicted I would break for lunch, and we were at the exact point in the script that
Wow.
I thought we would be at. So
Nice.
I did the planning for it as well, kind of like the first AD
Hmm.
uh, tasks. So I was very pleased that we were able to get it done on time. I don't like to run way over when we shoot. Just because it messes with people's schedules, and we had these background people coming in. I wanted them to know ahead of time what their time commitment was and didn't want to abuse their time.
Yeah.
Second day, we got off to a little slower start in the morning, but again, we finished in plenty of time.
Awesome. Awesome. So obviously, as you mentioned, you now directed a movie, and you also have been acting in a lot of films. What is more challenging to you, acting or directing?
It's really difficult to say because it requires different type of a focus. Um, I had been doing mostly behind the scenes stuff on the producer side. And then I had the on camera role for Night of the Dead Sorority Babes. And I was kind of nervous because I hadn't acted in a little while, and I was still doing the producing on that as well. And I thought, like my scene partner is Lynn Lowry, for heaven's sake, she's iconic. She's got so much experience. Like, how am I going to keep up with her type of thing? But she is just so awesome to work with. We worked together beforehand about how our characters were similar, but yet they should be different,
Mhm.
so that it wasn't like one was a clone of the other. So she was very helpful in that regard to help me develop my character separate from her character. Um, and after I was done filming that, I thought, I kind of like this in front of the camera still a lot. And then the opportunity came up to be a director, and again, kind of nervous about it. But it really helps a lot working with Ashley Hefner as cinematographer, and Steve Herman that was there, of course. I mean, most of the time he was holding the boom mic and doing sound, but he also just has a good eye for how things are going to look on camera. And I'm less experienced in that aspect of it. So I think I can grow a lot as a director and would like to do it again. I would say probably I like acting a little more than being behind the camera, just because you get a little more gratification. When you see the end
Yeah.
product, you get a lot of gratification when you see yourself in it.
Yeah.
When you're behind the scenes, you're gratified when the product comes out, but your work is not done yet. You still
Mhm.
have to promote the film and, possibly do more fundraising and stuff like that. So the work carries on further on the production side.
Absolutely. And I mean, a lot of people, not really everybody, but a lot of people that watch the film, like, this goes for all movies. They always see the actors in front of the camera, and the
Mhm.
people behind the scenes are the ones that aren't credited as much outside of director and maybe even producer in that. But really, everybody from caterers to, producers, directors, cinematographers, lighting techs, sound techs, like everybody makes this project, this film into one thing. And a lot of people don't realize there are other people behind the scenes that deserve just as much credit. Just because you don't see them on the camera doesn't mean that they don't deserve that credit. If not, they should get a little bit more credit because they're the ones bringing it all together from behind the scenes.
True, true. Yeah. Once you've done work behind the scenes, then you think, well, it's pretty easy as an actor, man. You just show up. And granted, you have to deliver your performance, but you've been practicing that on your own. It's kind of like show up, do your thing, you're done. Check out.
Right. Exactly. But then when you're doing the camera work and everything, like, I mean, like you said, actors, they've been practicing. So they come, they do their performance, they're done. But with the cameras, like anything can go wrong. What happens if the camera malfunctions? Or what happens if somebody's in the shot and you don't see it? Oh, wait, I didn't get that. I got somebody in the shot. Now I need to reshoot that again. You need to have that eye to make sure that nobody's in the background that shouldn't be in that scene.
Right. And you don't really have time to, like you can play stuff back on the camera.
Yeah.
You don't really have time to play back every shot.
Yeah.
You just would not get through the production schedule. So, I mean, we do playback periodically when we want to double check things, but like usually there's a little something where it's like, I wish I had asked for, for playback on that. I would, make a little adjustment. But like typical with Acrostar Productions, Steve Fermentero's into the editing. So Inner Beauty, we shot mid-May,
Yeah.
and it's going through the finishing touches for sound design now. So it'll be out before the end of June.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be about
you guys really
the
really pop movies out really quickly, and they're really good productions.
Oh, thanks,
I'm
thanks.
really impressed.
Yeah, I mean, Steve is very, very dedicated. I mean, literally, he does not rest. And I think it helps a lot that he wrote everything because he knows it so well that, I mean, it's like edited in his head before we even film it.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of finding those pieces. And that one was short enough. We, almost shot it front to back. We did mix up the scenes a little bit, just for use of people's time, but that simplifies the editing process as well. And then Night of the Dead Sorority Babes, we shot in February, but again, it's a feature film, so it's a lot longer.
Yeah.
That's going through music composition right now. So we're having an original score developed for the film. And then it will go to sound design and mixing. So we're looking at September for
Nice.
release for that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that'll be on Tubi?
Um, we will submit to streaming platforms. So you submit to a distributor and then they push
Mhm.
it to the streaming platforms because you can't go to those directly. If we could, we would submit directly to Tubi, but we can't.
Right.
Um, so it's a matter of then whether the streaming platforms want to accept it or not. So,
Yeah.
they have certain things in their catalog. I don't know if they're real sophisticated in their choices where they're
Mhm.
like, oh, we already have like 5 sorority-ish movies. We don't want another. Or if they're just, they do a quality check, of course, make sure that technically the film is intact. But I don't know how selective they are in terms of like the
Right.
contents of the film. So yeah, hopefully we'll be out on a bunch of streaming platforms. Other films that we have, depending on the exact film, are on 18 different streaming platforms.
Mhm.
And some platforms don't care for a particular style of film or
Yeah.
whatever. And again, there's not much we can do about that, but
Yeah.
cranking along with all those. And then we have a new one that we've been doing pre-production for, but we just announced
Okay.
the sequel to Attack of the Corn Zombies.
Oh,
And it's titled Return of the Corn Zombies.
nice.
So we just on Tuesday at noon launched our fundraising campaign on Indiegogo for Return of the Corn Zombies. And
Nice.
we are sitting at very, 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 very close to 40% of the initial goal already. And
Nice.
it's been 2 days. So we've had a fantastic reception to that. Of course, our initial goal is not the film budget. It's a low number,
Yeah.
uh, so that we can play the game with Indiegogo and, rise in popularity and all that kind of stuff. We've had a lot of people reaching out to us that want to
Mhm.
be in the movie. We do have the main cast set already, but we do have a couple roles in the film as perks, and
Mhm.
then other opportunities to be involved with the film, either your picture in the film or of course, IMDb credits, various types of credits, physical media, download of the film, stuff like that. So we're pretty
Nice.
for that. That'll film in September for.
Nice. I was actually meaning to tell you this. I wrote up like it's a one-page Word document or whatever, and it's of the like horror movies that I really want to see, and I'm doing it throughout the summer because I'm on summer break, and outside of interviews and outside of my full-time job, like it's getting boring, you know what I mean? So I'm looking for horror movies that I want to do, and under indie blockbusters, I actually put on there Attack of the Killer Corn Zombies.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
Yes, so I
Thanks.
can't wait to get to that one. I'm really excited.
Yeah, we've had over 11,000 views on our
Nice.
YouTube channel.
Nice. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, and people are actually like giving it ratings on YouTube as well. A lot of times you'll have stuff out there and you'll get a bunch of really low ratings
Mhm.
from some obscure country, third world type thing. And
Mhm.
you figure that, maybe they watched it, they didn't like it, and maybe not. But yeah, we've got a really high rating, and there's over
Nice.
900 ratings
That's
on,
awesome.
which is, yeah, it's phenomenal for
That's
us. So,
awesome. So
yeah,
you're
we figured we had
playing,
to make another.
yeah, so you're playing Angelica Grace, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
In Night of the Dead Sorority Babes. So who is Angelica? What can you tell us about her?
She is someone, so Lynn and I, our characters are supernatural entities.
Hmm.
We founded the sorority in like 1912 or something like that. Um, and everybody knows that, but obviously don't look that old.
No.
So you can tell there's kind of something up with us, and we parade around wearing black capes sometimes. So, we're a little off. Nobody really gets us in terms of the girls who were there.
Mhm.
We one at a time kind of decide to get some revenge for some harmful stuff that's been done to our family in the past. And we actually get a kick out of it.
Nice.
So there's a little bit of a, psycho personality going on there. I get kind of giddy about the whole thing, the whole idea of doing some business with these girls. Lynn's character is a little more somber about it. It's more business for
Hmm.
her, and for me, it's business mixed with pleasure.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, we've got some very interesting kills in that one. I don't want to say too much about it because there's quite a variety. So each of the girls who are coming in, they're playing girls who are in college, so they each have a major. And so their kill kind of has something to do with either their major or like their dream, something that they
Nice.
want to do in their future. So there's that kind of a theme running through there. Of course, there are twists and turns as you go through the story. One thing that Steve Herman is really good about as a scriptwriter is, you know, getting you actually interested in the characters.
Mhm.
And maybe you'll even feel a little sympathy for the villains at some point in
Okay.
time. Kind of depends on where you're coming from as well. But we had just a wonderful, wonderful group of women, all female cast,
Nice.
female cinematographer. I mean, Steve was outnumbered a lot. But everybody got along so well. Everybody lifted each other up, supported each other personally and also, as actresses. So it was just a really, really positive experience. But it was kind of a cool setting as well. Another Airbnb that has an indoor hot tub. So of course we had to make use of the hot tub.
Okay.
Just a little more flesh showing,
Mhm.
not from Lynn and I, but from the younger girls in this film. So, again, a lot of the AcroStar films are very different than others that we've already released. We don't like to just put out another formula unless it's a
Right.
sequel. Then you have to follow the original. But yeah, this one's quite different, and it's very campy.
Mhm.
Um,
I love campy.
yeah, 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 and the whole sorority thing is kind of campy to begin with.
Yeah.
So we think a lot of people will like it. And again, distribution wise, we'll submit to a distributor and see what happens. That's
Right.
about all you can do. There's some self-distribution that we can do, like usually Amazon Prime Video. We do that submission ourselves, and we go direct on that. We're looking into, perhaps trying to do some stuff in theaters with
Hmm.
some of these films. That's not easy. We can have things like viewing for cast or whatever, but for something like Night of the Dead Sorority Babes, everybody is from a different place. Not
Yeah.
very many people live physically near each other.
Right.
But we might look into seeing if we could do some like little mini premieres in some of the locations where the talent lives.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
We do like to do that, especially if we've got films that have a lot of background extra people in it, like the zombie films. Then we like to do a premiere in that locale where we filmed, because those folks may have never been in a movie before, never seen themselves on the big screen, and there's nothing more thrilling than seeing
Yeah.
yourself on the big screen for the first time.
Absolutely. And I mean, I always had a lot of success with my first feature film with like the smaller mom and pop store theaters. That those are a
Yeah.
lot easier. They a lot of them wanted to do 50-50 with ticket sales, which still helped us being a small production company, but helped them as a small mom and pop theater as well.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's got to be a win-win for the
Yeah,
theater and for the film.
absolutely.
Um, Yeah, so yeah, we like to do, the best we can with the funds that we have available.
Yeah.
I've had people say, well, it sounds like you guys are just like doing this for fun. Well, no, we're not. We do have fun, but we're very serious about it.
Yeah.
We would love to make bigger films in terms of having more budget, particularly on the crew side. We operate with a very, very lean crew.
Yeah.
People wear a lot of hats, and we like doing that, but like you can level up in terms of the quality of the film if
Yeah.
you have more than one camera going at one time, if you have, specific people for lighting and sound and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Deploy other cinematography techniques that maybe your one cinematographer hasn't played with yet, type of thing. But I think we do pretty well with what we've got to work with, but we're,
Yes.
we're looking to, kind of climb that ladder and get
Yeah.
into some slightly bigger budgets as we go
Exactly.
forward.
And I mean, yeah, it is fun to do, but it's also very expensive to do. Like making a
Oh, yeah,
movie is not cheap. So
right.
that's where we come into our next category, crowdfunding. I mean, I'm sure that's how you make a lot of your funds is through crowdfunding. And not only do you make money through that, but the people that donate can also get perks, as you mentioned, through the crowdfunding campaign. They could donate and get something in return, whether it's physical media or anything else. So is Night of the Dead Sorority Babes or Inner Beauty, are either of them crowdfunding or going to be, or I know both of them are done, but any finishing campaigns?
Well, we were able to exceed our goals with both of them, so those
Okay.
are both still in demand.
Hmm.
So you can go on to Indiegogo and just search for Acrostar Films, or I believe the sorority one is sororitybabesmovie.com. It's kind of like a shortcut
Hmm.
domain name that will take you right to the campaign. And then once you're on the campaign page, it'll show like S.J. Herman, 16 campaigns or something. If you view full profile, if you click on that profile link, then it shows you all of the campaigns that we
Okay.
have running. And we have quite a few that are still open. Actually, somebody just today, well, I noticed it today. They bought it maybe a day or two ago. They bought a perk for It Came From Somewhere,
Oh.
because that campaign is still open. So I
And
checked
I
in.
I had you on, I think, talking about that last summer.
Yeah, yeah.
So that campaign's been open for a while, at least almost a year.
Yep, yep. But if you're somebody who is accumulating credits
Mm,
on IMDb, that's an option. Like your name's not going to be
yeah,
in the actual film anymore because it's been released, but you
yeah,
can find your credits on IMDb by just looking
yeah,
for other open campaigns. Because like we could proactively close some of those older ones, but we thought might as well leave them open.
yeah. You might as well. I mean, like you just saw somebody donate it. It's not a
Mhm.
bad thing. I mean, they're still helping you out monetarily for that money can go elsewhere, and then they could still get an IMDb credit or whatever they donate it for, and that's actually still a win-win.
Right, right. And we think, some people are kind of anti-crowdfunding, I mean, we think we're using it so that it's, again, a win-win for both sides. For us,
Hmm.
we get some money to work with. For the contributor, they either get their name showing up, they get credits on IMDb, they get something physical.
Yeah,
Usually when the film is completed, we also have some, maybe props from the movie, wardrobe, and then there's sometimes there are other things that are like offshoots from that. So
hmm,
part of our marketing is just to like keep awareness of the films going in the marketplace. So there's a guy who runs something called Terror Cards,
hmm,
TRROR, Terror
hmm.
Cards. They're digital trading cards. And so he has put together a collection from Attack of the Corn Zombies. And then he also put together some stuff from Night of the Dead Sorority Babes, that included a physical card that has had a piece of Lynn Lowry's cape that she wore on set as part of what he would mail out to people.
Wow.
So, again, we will partner with people who are helping to spread the word about indie films.
Nice, nice. Yeah, the only way I'm anti crowdfunding is the people that take advantage of the situation. But everybody at Acrostar are amazing. Like they're absolutely phenomenal. I had you on my show 4 times. I had Steve on once. I had a lot of your cast from other movies on. So anybody that is watching this and you hear the horror stories, because there are horror stories out there of crowdfunders that take advantage of it, donate to anything that Acrostar does, because they actually are on the up and up and are legit. They get movies out and they do pop out the movies quite frequently, and they're really, really good movies.
Oh, thanks, Scotty.
Of
Really
course. I
appreciate it.
mean, you guys do an amazing job. And I mean, I mean, just seeing Steve's dedication alone to the editing process, the writing process, and then obviously you come on my show, and I'm sure other podcasts, and promote them, market them, and of course you're acting in it, you're doing behind the scenes stuff. Like, it's not an easy thing to do, and it's a very stressful job. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know you know that.
Well, particularly when we're thinking about this upcoming zombie thing. So we've got there are 12 people in the main cast. So they're like different groups, and it's very different than Attack of the Corn Zombies. So Attack of the Corn Zombies was a little bit lighthearted. We had hippies getting stoned all the time. We had greasers wanting to pick a fight all the time, and then the zombie thing happened. And this one is going to pick up 2 years after that. So basically, the world is infiltrated with corn zombies,
Nice.
and it's a survivalist kind of a feel to it. A little more Armageddon, apocalyptic, doomsday kind of a feel to it. So not so much levity with like the people getting stoned, although that part was pretty funny.
I can't wait to see the first movie, and I'm really excited to see that now.
Yeah, I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And then I think people will like the second one too. So we're gonna be a little more serious in terms of like how zombies are taken out. We had kind of like simplistic ways to take out a zombie in the first film, and we get a little more intense with
Nice.
the violence and the gore
Nice.
factor on the second one. And we want to have 100 background extra zombies in the
Yeah.
second. We had about 50 in the first one.
Mhm.
So we did pretty good. The community really
Nice.
supports what we're doing. But again, we talk to the people, we get them involved, respect everybody's property. We put everything back the way we found it, no matter how big of a mess we've been
Yeah.
with the big
That's
flood.
probably the hardest, like, not really the hardest part, but the most tedious part is just making everything the way it is and cleaning everything up. I remember on my first film, we had a scene where the killer turns two people that he killed into scarecrows on the main character's porch, and he's putting the straw and hay in them and everything. We bought all the straw and hay, and on the porch they actually had that carpeting that everything sticks to or whatever that. So he's throwing the hay all over, and cleaning that up was not fun, or it was a pain. I'm like, Brad, you have to throw it on every ounce of the carpet. You couldn't put it in one general direction that we could just pick it up with our hands. Now we're brushing it, and it was a pain. So yeah,
That
it's a
kind of does
respect thing.
remind me for the second one, maybe I should bring a hose to
Yeah.
the locations with.
Yeah, it's a respect thing too, because these people are letting you use their property, they're letting you use,
Yeah,
their area. So cleanup is the least you can do as a thank you. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
it really
Yeah.
is. It's just a respectful thing, because then you build that professional and good relationship with them, that they'll want you to use their property again in the future.
Yeah, and we ask, like how you would like to be credited in the film,
Hmm.
is there a way to, specifically list, like
Yeah.
if it's a store, can we list the name of it? If it's
Hmm.
a private, like an Airbnb, like what do you want to call it? Like does your house have a name? Kind of,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
That's
then
great.
yeah, like I say, we do try to do the local premiere, and especially for it came from somewhere. I mean, we had was just a single screen theater in one of the small towns nearby, and there were like over 60 people that showed
Wow,
up, and we were just amazed at how many
that's
people.
amazing.
You don't know, like they didn't have any automated ticketing or anything,
Hmm.
so it was just, like buy your ticket at the door. We're like, oh, what are we gonna do if like 10 people come? And the lady's like, well, we'll show the movie. Like if there's one person here, we'll still play the movie.
Hmm.
And we were able to have a lot of the cast come down and stuff
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we used
it's a nice
Eventbrite
family.
for our premiere for our first movie, and I'm telling you, like, that the nervous feeling of, will anybody even want to come see this? Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna want to come spend, $10 on a low budget, movie from the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania? You know what I mean? Like, those thoughts go through your mind, and then you see ticket sale, ticket sale, ticket sale, ticket sale emails. I'm like, wait, what's happening here? This is
Very,
amazing.
very, very cool.
Yeah. So when do you plan on releasing I mean not releasing, filming the return of the Killer Corn Zombies?
We're going to film in September, early
Yeah.
September. We need to do it before they cut down all the corn.
Okay.
So
Good
we have
point.
carefully contacted the local corn authorities and have timed that because we're actually, well, no, I'm not going to say, but we wanted the corn to be there and not to be already harvested
Okay.
and turned over and stuff. So yeah, early September, and then that one will probably come out in February of 2025.
Okay. So I can either have you back probably during, because I know I start at the in the middle of August. I think my I start my senior year of grad school, like my last year of grad school.
Ooh,
So I'm excited about that.
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm thinking either fall break, which will probably be, I'm assuming early November, maybe. If not, then I can have you back winter break before I go back to Pennsylvania. I can have you on during winter break. That'll probably like, I think my semester ends usually the second week of December-ish, our
Okay.
finals week. So I can
Okay.
have you after my last final, I can have you back. We'll promote Return of the Killer Corn Zombies. That's exciting. I can't wait to see that as well. I'm excited to see the first one. That's a film that I really am interested in. I love zombie movies, so would love to watch that. And I know you're in that as well, so that's exciting. Are
Yes,
you in
I
the
am.
second
Yeah.
one?
I am not in the second one.
Okay,
Well,
you
I won't
can't
touch
say,
on it
but
since
yeah,
since you haven't watched the first one yet. But
absolutely.
yeah, it's pretty much a true sequel in terms of who shows up in the second one.
Okay, I'm excited. I can't wait. But thank you so much. And before I let you go, do you have anything else that you would like to promote to the listening and viewing audience?
No, those are the big items. I am an actor in another film by another production. Not much has been said about it publicly, and I haven't been asked not to talk about it, but I didn't have a chance to actually find out what all I could say about it. So
Okay.
I am filming in Indiana, the middle of July for about a week. And doing some co-producing on it, helping out a little bit in the background on that one as well. And I don't know, that will probably do a festival run before it is released to
Okay.
streaming platforms. So yeah, I'm busy for the next few months, which is a
Nice.
beautiful thing.
Nice. So
And
if
I
any
really appreciate you having me on, Scotty. It's a
Absolutely. So if
pleasure
anybody
talking to you.
wants to find out about Acrostar Films, where can they find out about you guys and what you guys are working on in future productions?
The easiest way is to join our Facebook group. It is called something like Indie Horror Films from Acrostar.
Okay.
Um, that's most frequently updated. We also have a Facebook page. If you just search on Facebook for Acrostar,
Hmm.
you can find that. But then also we have actually two websites because it used to be Acrostar Films, and
Hmm.
now we are formally Acrostar Productions LLC. So we have acrostarproductions.com and we have acrostarfilms.com, and there are links to the Facebook group and our YouTube channel. And we have a lot of content on YouTube as well. Yeah,
Nice.
Attack of the Corn Zombies is one of those. There's some features out there. There are a lot of shorts that are out there as well. So
Awesome.
dig in and enjoy some content.
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Anne, for joining me again. I can't wait to see Attack of the Killer Corn Zombies. I will definitely have you back to talk about Return of the Killer Corn Zombies, which I'm hoping, which if my schedule goes the way I plan it to in the summer, that I will be seeing the first one sometime this summer. And when I have you on, I will be ready to talk about Return to the Killer
Yeah,
Corn Zombies. I'm so excited. All right. Well, have
thank
a
you.
great rest of your night, Anne.
All right, you too, Scotty.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye.
Bye.